Hello and welcome to the channel. Could Peter Obi really win in his election petition against President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu? From all indication, and in respect to the Nigerian constitution, he actually could. One of the petitions Obi filed against Tinubu was relating to his drug case forfeiture in the United States. And the Nigerian constitution expressly states that if a person is convicted and fined on having agreed to the sentencing by way of forfeiture, and in Tinubu's case, the 460,000 US dollars paid to a Chicago court to avoid sentencing. Since he did not receive any state pardon or acquitted by any court, Tinubu remains a convict and therefore cannot contest the election at any level in Nigeria. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Obi's petition as Tinubu's nightmare. Despite all the steps taken over the years to resolve the issue of the president-elect Bola Tinubu's forfeiture of $460,000 in Chicago, United States, the issue has continued to linger. It is hoped that the petition filed by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, to challenge his victory in the February 25th election will eventually put it to rest permanently. The recent petition filed by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP, Mr. Peter Obi, at the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja to challenge the victory of Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress APC in the February 25th election has again thrown up the much reported forfeiture of $460,000 by the former governor of Lagos State over an alleged drug case in the United States. Tinubu's drug case is among the key grounds for which Obi is seeking his disqualification in the election petition the former Anambra State governor filed against the declaration of the former Lagos State governor as the president-elect following his victory at the February 25th presidential election. In his petition, Obi argued that Tinubu at the time of the presidential election was not qualified to contest the election. He stated that the former Lagos State governor was fined $460,000 for an alleged offense involving dishonesty, particularly narcotics trafficking, imposed by the United States District Courts, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, in case number 93C 4483 between the U.S. and Tinubu. He added that for this reason, the votes purportedly recorded for Tinubu at the presidential election were wasted votes and ought to be disregarded. Since Obi filed the petition, the members of the Obedient Movement have fully resurrected the issue of the forfeiture of $460,000 by Tinubu. All over the social media, the issue is a recurring decimal as they argue that it is a veritable ground for the tribunal to annul Tinubu's victory. The matter got to a head last week when, in a tweet, a former human rights activist, Ayo Obe, taunted them, saying the move by Obi to sack Tinubu on account of the forfeiture case cannot stand, being that it is now statute barred. Obe cited Section 137(1)(e) of the Nigerian Constitution that said a Nigerian cannot be elected president within 10 years of a conviction for offenses brought by the Code of Conduct Bureau. A person shall not be qualified for the election to the office of president if within a period of less than 10 years before the date of the election to the office of president, he has been convicted and sentenced for an offense involving dishonesty, or he has been found guilty of the contravention of the Code of Conduct, the section said. While responding to Obe last weekend, the director of media in the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, argued that his principal's alleged drug case in the United States happened more than 10 years ago and cannot therefore be used as a basis to truncate his victory at the polls last month. The Obi supporters don't read. They live in a cocoon of falsehood and contrived propaganda, Onanuga said. However, Tinubu's traducers have insisted that Section 137 1D disqualifies anyone who had been fined for any offenses in the past from becoming president. They also argued that the subsection did not give any timeline under which a convict can be released to run for Nigeria's presidency. The subsection specifically reads, "A person shall not be qualified for election to the office of president if he is under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name called, or for any other offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal, or substituted by a competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal." Opponents of the former Lagos State governor have also pointed out the January 17, 2014 judgment of the Supreme Court, where it defined forfeiture as punishment for an offense under the Nigerian criminal statutes may compound this problem. The judgment, which was delivered in the case of Mohammed Abacha versus the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the current Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN), Justice Olukayode Ariwola, while serving as a Supreme Court Justice, declared that forfeiture means the loss of a right, privilege, or property because of a crime. He noted that any person who has forfeited property on the basis of a crime cannot be entitled to indemnity, adding that forfeiture is a form of punishment and that there is no indemnity in Nigeria's criminal procedure. While many legal experts have argued that the Tinubu's case is quite different from that of Mohammed Abacha, others stated that the peculiarities of the case will need the court to determine if the U.S. court's ruling has relevance in Nigeria. For the avoidance of doubt, the United States Court in sentencing Tinubu ordered that the funds in the amount of $460,000 in the name of Tinubu represents proceeds of alleged narcotics trafficking. From the declaration of the court and the sentencing, it is clear that Tinubu was summarily convicted by the court, took no step to challenge the judgment, but acceded to the forfeiture of $460,000 found to be the proceeds of narcotics trafficking, it stressed. The import of the foregoing is that under the 1999 Constitution as amended, having been so convicted and fined and having acceded to the sentencing by way of forfeiture of $460,000 and have not received any state pardon or acquitted by any court of competent jurisdiction, Asiwaju Tinubu remains a convict, and the consequential effect is that he cannot contest the election at any level in Nigeria. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.